Hello dear traders, welcome back to Insta TV for another financial news release with me, Anna Kasatkina. The market is closely monitoring developments in the trade talks between the two largest economies. China's news agency reported that President Xi Jinping acknowledged progress and called for an early conclusion of the talks. On Friday, the US dollar index remains at the level above 97 points. This trading week, the index is very volatile due to sudden twists in risk sentiment because investors respond to any news on the US-China trade talks. Yesterday, Donald Trump said the parties are getting closer to reaching the deal in the near future. Nevertheless, some vital issues have to be settled, like particular import tariffs and protection of intellectual property. The US currency finds support from steady yields of 10-year US Treasuries. Today, they edged up to 2.54%. The Australian dollar was trading higher at near 0.7120 versus the greenback in the early Asian session. The Aussie tends to do well when sentiment towards China improves, so the Australian dollar benefits from the news on progress in the trade talks between the US and China. Besides, the Aussie was propped up by a report from AIG on Australia's construction sector. The index jumped to 57.2 in February from 43.8 in January. The focus for the day is the government data on the US labor market for March. Investors expect a rebound in employment. The consensus suggests a flat unemployment rate at 3.8%. The dollar-yen pair hit a three-week high on Friday. The pair has been supported by the news on the trade talks and economic data from Japan. Traders also have optimistic expectations for the US non-farm payrolls. Investors cheered the news that both American and Chinese lawmakers expressed optimism and interest in termination of the tariff battle. Japan posted downbeat economic data overnight. Household spending dropped 2% in February, month-on-month, and 1.7% on a yearly basis. Average cash earnings fell 0.8%. The ruble is losing momentum in the wake of looming sanctions on Russia. Yesterday, the ruble closed with a mixed dynamic. It lost ground against the US dollar and the euro, but rose against the sterling. Today, the Russian currency could remain under pressure. The ruble is showing resilience despite negative sentiment. If oil prices sustain momentum above 69 US dollars, the ruble will seize a chance to assert strength at 65 versus the dollar again. To sum it up, global financial markets are highly sensitive to developments in the trade talks and Brexit-related news. Meanwhile, both events inspire confidence. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend. Bye.